Hi, it's Redheaded Riding Hood here. I'm gonna do Sunday's daily celebration, and this is where we're gonna be a little bit off. But he was talking about painting his house, and the ones that I missed, I'm gonna stay with this one on the day of. Well, I'm doing this one early for Sunday, but see it through. This is part one. I told you of my experience in house painting. He was talking about painting. Now, the paint which I was using was a rather special kind of paint, which is guaranteed not to drip. That, of course, is a very useful quality in a paint. But it is thick, not liquid, almost like a jelly, and there are right ways and wrong ways of using it. From the paint, I learned certain lessons, and they are the lessons not only for painting but for life. This is interesting. I really like his devotions. I learned that you must know how to do a thing, or your work will be quite ineffective. I had to learn how to use this paint. Normally in painting, you can sweep the brush backwards and forwards like a pendulum. But you couldn't do that with this paint. If you drew the brush in one direction, you laid it on. But if you swept the brush backwards in the reverse direction, you promptly brushed it off again. Wow, that's weird. And so you got nowhere fast. But if you kept laying it on always in the same direction, you got a wonderful job. It is always necessary to learn how to do a thing. Somehow or other, the word technique has become a word which many people rather despise. But whatever we are doing, from painting a room to preaching a sermon, if we neglect and despise technique, we may well ruin the most excellent material and get the poorest results when we might have had the best. It is very essential to get knowledge, but it is at least as essential to learn how to use knowledge in the right way. I learned that you cannot paint in a hurry. If you hurried, it might look all right when the paint was still wet, but when it dried, it was streaky instead of even, and the underpaint showed through. It was a thoroughly unsatisfactory job. Haste was hopeless. Tomorrow's part 2 on See It Through. But this makes me think of something also, and that's me learning to do the chemicals at the pool where I work. I had to do it to learn to do it, I had to do it, So I needed practice. So one day, on Thursday, I went in there to the boiler room where there's a little thing we can get water out of the pool from. It's not getting it actually, right from the pool, but it comes through the pipes, I guess, and you get the water out of the pool and you put it in the thing to test it. Well, I went back there to look over the rules, sort of study. I was studying, and then I said to who I was working with, I said to Hunter, I was like, and if I'm can do it, I'll do it, but I'm gonna go, and I took a picture of the directions, and I was glad I did that because on Friday, one of the assistant managers asked me to do the chemicals, and so I was like, oh, I'm glad I did that. So, but when I did it on Friday. The only thing I didn't get right was the calcium hardness. And I think, but I said to myself the whole time, I'm like, this is not a test, because I think I was just getting so anxious about it because it reminded me of chemistry class when I was in the 12th grade, which I almost failed, and then failed my senior year, which would have been horrible. But I got a D. I just barely passed it. So that's what seeing it through, that's what this devotion made me think of. Anyways, don't say that no one cares for you, because I do and God does too. Don't forget to pray for Red, because Red is praying for you. Bye.